Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoes.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another stout review. Stoutmas is in full swing. We've been enjoying stouts for the last couple days. Reached into the wine fridge today and happened to pull this one out, so I figured I would drink this. From Founders Brewing, Grand Rapids, Michigan. This is their Imperial Stout. This is a 2015 vintage. Per the back of the label, it was bottled on December 10th, 2015, so we are almost 3 years to the date in the bottle. 10.5% alcohol by volume, 75 IBUs. This was their Imperial Stout they used to brew. They don't do it anymore, sadly. I don't think they do it anymore. I'm almost positive they don't brew this beer anymore. And a lot of people were bummed about that. So, I think I got this from Nathan a long time ago, this 2015 bottle. I've got some 2016s and 17s, I think, up in my closet. I just grabbed some when I heard they were ceasing production of this beer. They were sitting on the shelf. They probably are still sitting on the shelf at like a local Bevmo or something. But yeah, I've had this beer before. I like this beer a lot. I've never reviewed it though, so especially with 3 years on it. So I figured we would drink this one tonight. It's a fun part about Stoutmas, like I said, go into my cellar and start drinking stuff. So we're using our Answer Link glassware. We've been on a roll of video game glassware. Wow, this thing pours dark AF. Love it. I really, really enjoy these Answer glasses with, wow, the head on that though. The Answer glasses with all the video game stuff. It's fantastic. So, man, look at the freaking head on that thing. 2.5 fingers of just the tightest packed small bubbles. I mean, it looks like you put ice cream into soda when it gets like super foamy like that. Crazy, and that is just sticking around. Hopefully this beer's all right. 10.5%. You don't, I mean, I don't typically see stouts with heads that are that awesome that just stick around like that. So, pitch black looks absolutely killer in that glassware. So, I don't know what they replace this with. You guys can tell me. I'm not a stout drinker. What does Founders brew now every year that replace this beer? Trevor knows in this one. Yeah, this has like a molassesy, sweet, like almost licoricey thing going on. There's a little bit of like an oxidation that I like. It's, what is that smell? I think licorice is the best way to describe it. I like that black licorice. It's got a ton of roast. It smells really rich. It smells malty. And yeah, there's just this little bit of, I don't know, the oxidation works well because it kind of smells a little bit on like that kind of, there's almost like a heavy roasted kind of a coffee thing that goes to that kind of bitter we talk about. It's like an acrid smelling, like really intensely bitter coffee. It kind of has that with like the heavy roast that you're smelling. But yeah, there's like this sugary, molasses, brown sugar kind of like, even like a dark kind of like chocolate thing. It smells awesome. It smells, it doesn't smell boozy, but it smells like, it sounds dumb. It smells warming, if that makes any sense. It just, it's 10.5%. It's a big stout. It's cold outside. It's rainy. It smells like wintertime. So let's taste it. Cheers. That's so good. And that little bit of like what you're smelling, that little kind of oxidation twinge is there on the back end with all the intense roast richness, and it kind of gives it this cool, I don't know what that is on the finish I'm tasting, but it works well. This beer is so intensely roasty, so intensely rich. It's got a big bitterness. It almost comes off as like a coffee bitterness, but I think it's a little bit of whatever that is. I perceive it as like a little bit of oxidation. People might say that's an off flavor. I think it works well with this beer. This is a huge 10.5% Imperial Stout. It's chewy. It's mouth coating. It sits on your tongue. It leaves those big coffee vibes like just lingering with that bitterness. Good amount of that like cocoa-y, sweet chocolate up front. It is. What is this? 70? Yeah, 75 IBUs. And maybe it's the bitterness that I'm tasting that I'm kind of perceiving as like an oxidized kind of a note. It's intensely bitter, but there's so much richness. It's crazy. And yeah, it's just, this is a really, really chewy beer. This is probably my favorite Founder Stout. KBS is fine. I think KBS is a little overrated these days. I had CVS for the first time last year, and that beer was good, but it was way too hyped. This beer is amazing. This beer would sit on the shelf in my area. 4-packs were like, I think they were like $12.99. It was crazy. I wish I would have bought a lot more of these now that I'm drinking this. I'm not a big stout drinker. But every December when I drink stouts, I'm like, oh, I love stouts. It's where I live in San Diego. It's 70 degrees almost every single day year round. So when it's warm out and it's nice, I don't want to just sit and drink stouts. That's my problem. So yeah, this beer is fantastic. Like if we're grading this, if it was still being put out as like a shelf stout, like the way that it was, this is like a 99 out of 100. It's absolute fire. If you have bottles of this, you're so stoked right now. And I wish I had more of this. I've got a couple other bottles. I don't think they're 2015 though. So it's just, I can't believe how intensely roasty and like that's, you know what? Fuck it. Let's take another sip of this. I'm almost going to finish this whole thing on camera. Yeah. The cocoa and like that sweet molassesy brown sugar thing in the front is awesome because it just goes from that sweetness to this crazy transition of biting, bitter, roasty, coffee, intense. It almost gives like a, it's almost like a woody flavor. It's fucking fire. I am 99 out of 100. This should be hashtag Hunnits actually. Fuck it. Seriously, I mean, what shelf stout that you would just grab off the shelf is better than this? Can you name any? Are people gonna say like 1050? I don't know. It's 2015 with 3 years on it though. It is. This is perfect. This beer is mind-blowing right now. The more I drink it, I'm just like, this is amazing. So I'm going hashtag Hunnits. First 100 of stoutness, and who would have thought it would have been Founder's Imperial Stout. I love this beer. I hope you guys do too. So there you go. Do you guys miss this beer? I sure do. Maybe they'll bring it back. Can we like start a petition? Anyone at Founders, write them a letter. Say, hey, you guys should brew Imperial Stout again. Let's fucking do the damn thing. So if you guys have had it, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the fuse so I can bring bad news to all these